As much as humans are built to be the smartest species in the world, using our brains to be stronger than other creatures and braver than most, we still seem to have some weird phobias that seem ridiculous to most of us. However, these are very much real phobias us humans have. Whether it's from bathing, fear of mirrors, or fear of the color yellow, individuals who have these phobias often experience extreme anxiety, and these phobias just aren't understood. Join us as we explore weird and absurd phobias some of us humans have. Be sure to watch till the end, as most of these will surprise you. Before we get into the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to Puzzled for more puzzling and mind-boggling content. A phobia is described as an irrational fear of an object, situation, or living thing. While fear is a natural response to danger, phobias often occur in response to something unlikely to cause real harm. Someone with a specific phobia will experience intense fear and anxiety when confronted with the source of the phobia, which could include heights or specific animals like dogs. But what about these ridiculous phobias? For one being, Untitled. When you first hear the name of this phobia, what is the first thought that comes into your head when knowing the meaning? Something scary, right? Well, what if I told you that this phobia is the fear of peanut butter getting stuck onto the roof of your mouth? Quite ridiculous, right? However, this is actually a real phobia, and once you hear the origin of it, it will make more sense. While the phenomenon has happened to everyone at one point or another, people with Phobia are extremely afraid of it. The severity of this phobia varies from person to person. Some with this condition may be able to eat small amounts of peanut butter, while others will completely avoid eating peanut butter or anything with a similar consistency. This phobia stems from a greater phobia of sticky things or a fear of choking. It may also stem from a traumatic incident with peanut butter, such as choking on or being allergic to it. The next phobia on this list is quite sad to see as humans evolve, and that's Nomophobia. This is the fear of not being with your mobile phone. This is obviously a very new phobia and is common with the younger demographic, but people with Nomophobia experience excessive anxiety about not having their phone with them, their battery being low, or their phone being out of service. Now this one is an ironic one, and I'll probably butcher my attempt on saying it, then again, I may have this phobia too. The phobia is called SESQUIPEDALOPHOBIA, which is ironically the phobia of long words. It is also the longest word in the dictionary. Another name for this phobia is SESQUIPEDALOPHOBIA. It is believed that the phobia of long words develops from being embarrassed by pronouncing long words incorrectly. This may occur while reading aloud in front of the class as a child. The phobia can also be common in people with dyslexia. That makes more sense when you learn about the sources of these phobias. The next phobia on this list is XANTHOPHOBIA, which is a fear of the color yellow. Now, if you have this, or you think you may have this, then click away now. Still here? Good, you don't have this phobia. People with this rare phobia are usually also afraid of any object that is yellow, such as school buses and flowers. People with xanthophobia may avoid the color yellow at all costs, and they may even find yellow foods to be distressing. This phobia tends to interfere with everyday life, as yellow things can be found everywhere. The next one will surprise you, and that's PLUTOPHOBIA. What's this, you ask? The fear of the microplanet Pluto. Surprisingly, no. It's the fear of money. It's unexpected, as most of us probably wish we had more money, but PLUTOPHOBIA is a fear of money or wealth. People with PLUTOPHOBIA may fear wealthy people or fear becoming wealthy themselves. They generally dread money and having to deal with it. It's also quite alarming, as those with this fear may possibly sabotage their careers to avoid making more money or becoming wealthy. The fear of becoming wealthy could stem from a fear of the responsibilities and pressures associated with it, or it could even be the fear of being the victim of a robbery. Now this phobia is quite a funny one for the current Gen Z, and it's the fear of teenagers. Phobophobia is a fear of adolescence or youth. People with Phobophobia may perceive teenagers as out of control or dangerous and believe they are rude, unpredictable, and do not follow rules. This fear is thought to develop from the negative portrayal of teenagers in the media, as people with Phobophobia are so afraid of teenagers and will not want to be around them. People with this fear will do anything to avoid these TikTok-creating youngsters, even going to the extent of avoiding going to a friend's house if they have teenagers, or avoid places where teenagers tend to hang out. Now, this phobia is quite a comical one, and that's phobophobia. It is also probably the only sounding phobias that sound like what they're referring to. In this case, it's the fear of phobias. This can be described as free-floating anxiety, where a person spirals into a circle of anxiety due to fearing fear itself. People with phobophobia will often avoid social situations or other situations that can lead to anxiety. When extreme, it will greatly interfere with an individual's everyday life. You may have these phobias, and if you do, let us know how it is coping with them in your everyday lives in the comments. Check out this video on screen to learn about other topics that are not so scary that there's a phobia of. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Help support us by smashing that like button and by subscribing for more of the best puzzling content like this. Have a good day and see you soon.